Story 1. Table tennis. We had a table at work, so I started playing anytime I could, with whoever I could. I played a little when I was a kid, so I picked it back up quickly and started getting halfway decent. Eventually, I started playing with one coworker fairly regularly. He was good, no doubt. At first, he was clearly just volleying with me, not actually putting it away when he'd get the chance. This made it more fun for me, to be sure, and offered me great practice. Anyway, after about a year, I'd gotten to the point where I could cream everybody I'd play with ease except him. Our games had elevated drastically, to the point of all-out smashing the ball back and forth, standing 10 feet away from the table. I actually started winning some games every now and then. I was ecstatic. Well, one day, after losing a pretty heated game to me, and me being just a little bit pompous about it, my table tennis buddy and coworker pulls a total Inigo Montoya on me, flips the paddle from his left hand, which he consistently used when playing against me, into his right and says to me, "You know I'm right-handed, right?" I did not. Nor did I ever win another game against him. Story 2. I began piano lessons at an early age, 5, and my parents and my teacher made me believe I was some kind of fabulous child prodigy. I later found out I was merely a worm compared to real pianists. But I did enjoy playing the piano, so there's that. Story 3. At one point, I thought I was pretty savvy in Excel since I was the best at it out of the people I knew. Well, then I met someone who really knew how to use Excel and realized that I really only knew the basics. Story 4. 8-ball and 9-ball. I had a table at home and would practice while watching TV. No one could beat me. In college, I'd play $1 a ball. Everyone owed me money. Then I played someone who regularly entered tournaments. I was lucky if I got to shoot because he was running the table every game. Story 5. Driving. Everyone thinks they are a good driver. Sit along with a professional driver as they go through a course, and then try to do the same. So humbling. Story 6. My dad likes gardening and loves his plumeria. He has about 30. He recently found a local plumeria club on Facebook and went to a meetup. He was the only one there with less than 100. My mother has stopped complaining about him having too many plumeria. Story 7. I was actually a really good wrestler in high school. I went to state as a freshman, got fourth as a sophomore, second as a junior, and then won state my senior year. During the summer before my senior year, my team went to a wrestling camp. My coach knew the coach of another team in another state, and we went there to practice with them for a week. I was the best wrestler on my team, and I beat everyone on their team too. On the third day of camp, a guy came in to wrestle with us. I didn't know who he was, but we were about the same size, so I challenged him. This guy proceeded to dominate me for the next hour. I didn't score a single point on him, and he did whatever he wanted to me. I was completely helpless. Come to find out, he was a 2-time Division II national champion in college and a 3-time All-American. I learned that there are levels to this, and I got a massive dose of humility. Story 8. Okay, I'll jump in. In my late 20s, I had never lost a single game of Scrabble in my life. I have a pretty large vocabulary and a talent for pattern matching, so I was always able to come up with very long words and find high bonuses to place them on. The true Scrabble players are already laughing at me. Well, I was looking for something to do with my time and decided to try the local Scrabble club. I'll cut to the chase. I didn't win a single game. I didn't even present a challenge to a single player there. Several of them got annoyed at having to match up with someone as bad at Scrabble as me. I left that night deeply humiliated but amazed. I never went back. What I learned that night is that championship Scrabble players do not bother hunting for 150-point megascore words. No, they defeat you by placing 3 tiles that cross-connect to form 5 different words, 3 of which are 2-letter words, and all of which somehow share the same triple-word score tile even though only 2 words can possibly use it. And they score like 226 points by laying down those 3 tiles. It's incredible. It's as much art as science. So I learned a lot about humility from that one. Story 9. Ping pong. I made the mistake of playing an old guy that hangs out at one of the bars, and he completely wrecked me. It wasn't even close. He returned all of my best serves effortlessly and would put the craziest spin on all of his shots. He gave me good advice afterward and told me I play too fast for my own good. I bought him a drink and shamefully went back to my friends. Story 10. Fighting. I won a significant number of amateur mixed martial arts bouts and a few professional, but then I met someone who decisively defeated me for 3 rounds and then choked me out. Turns out I am pretty good at it, but I am not a world champion laughing out loud. Story 11. Drawing and painting. One of the things they do not discuss in art school is the near constant beatings your confidence takes. Most of them self-inflicted. I used to teach high school art, and those kids were amazing. They should have been teaching me. Story 12. Thought I was the quickest of the quick, craving perfect parallel lines, living my life on the edge. Nope. The ski team whizzed by me when I thought I was going fast. Turns out, I'm just a buffoon on 2 planks, snowplowing around ungracefully. Story 13. I build cars as a hobby. When I say build cars, I mean I modify them cosmetically and mechanically for all forms of racing for myself and with my husband. My grandfather taught me everything I know about cars from when I was a child, getting dirty and oily hands from helping him as I grew up. I love all types, but my main focus is building drift cars. I taught myself how to drift, how to control my car by making it lose control while still maintaining control of its power when it broke traction. I practiced on the many drift tracks that are near me. I managed to maintain it and keep it going around sharp and long corners without spinning out or stalling, until I watched my grandfather in his 1965 fastback Mustang that he built from junk to prize. He literally tackled all of the corners almost without straightening out. I've never felt so much discouragement and enlightenment in myself more than at that moment. He has a bad back now, but I miss him acting like a 20-year-old again, working on the cars he loves and doing everything he did while driving them. Story 14. I played in a piano competition at age 16. Back then, I fancied myself a pretty good pianist. There was this teenage girl who went on stage, sat down in front of the piano, and calmly blew all of us other contestants away with ease. She played Maurice Ravel's Judo, and she was absolutely captivating. Within about 30 seconds, I think we all knew she was going to win first prize. After a few minutes, I felt the judges ought to end the contest right then and there and just give her the trophy. Even now, over a decade later, I'm still in awe of her. She did it with so much grace, dignity, and style. I only wish I knew her name. Story 15. Tennis, the sport I grew up playing. I beat the majority of my colleagues frequently and even won a few tournaments. My coaches intentionally lowered their level when they played against me so that I wouldn't be thrashed. Not a whole lot to be learned from that, and I thought they were giving their best, and I was able to pull off some close score lines. I'd watch the guys on television and think that most of it wasn't really that impressive. I thought the sport was pretty slow, and the professionals don't do a lot of flashy stuff as they want to win. So I thought I'd reach their level in the near future, until the professionals came to my country to play a tournament, and I went straight away to see Roger Federer practice in person. I was blown away so hard and my ego was so crushed that I wasn't able to speak for a few days. Never again was I arrogant about anything anymore. Story 16. Drawing. I always think I am good at it. Not God level, my ego isn't that large. Then I take a look on DeviantArt and suddenly my world comes crashing down. Happens on a weekly basis at least. Thank you so much for the gold. Anonymous friend. I heavily appreciate your act of kindness. Also, thank everyone for upvoting this comment. I am super glad that I made at least one person's day in the replies. I took a look on ArtStation despite all the warnings. And I've got to say, I was actually hoping to have my soul crushed by tremendously good art. But I guess I was too eager because that didn't happen. The art there is still tremendously good. But I didn't get super let down. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. I use Metabang Paint and Instagram instead, and my art has improved. Story 17. I thought I was exceptionally smart because I was in the talented and gifted program in school. I was a great test taker, I got good grades, and breezed through getting my bachelor's degree. School was always pretty easy for me. Then I went to law school. Everyone was older than me, had actual life experience, and they were really smart. People would ask such thought-provoking questions. I couldn't believe we had read the same thing. I realized graduating high school and getting a bachelor's in political science at a state school wasn't genius-level stuff. And I had developed absolutely zero study skills over the prior 21 years. My first year in law school hit me like a ton of bricks. But it all worked out. Story 18, programming. Learned a lot in college and at my first job. I switched based on my skills, came to a new company, met my senior who is incredibly talented, and realized I have a long way to go. Story 19, math. I'm a theoretical physicist, and I always felt I was pretty good at math in undergraduate studies. Then I met the professor I'm working for right now. One of my life goals is to become at least 3/4 as good a theoretical physicist as he is. Then I met Ed Witten. Then I read some papers by Freeman Dyson. Damn. Story 20. I learned to solve a Rubik's Cube and practiced until I could solve one in about 30 seconds. Then I saw a video of the world record at the time, which was around 4.9 seconds. That was pretty depressing for me. Story 21. I honestly thought I'd be one tough person, canceling my apartment and going into the big wide world of Scandinavia, Faroe Islands, and Iceland with only my backpack and sleeping outside. Then I met a guy who just came back from a 700-kilometer glacier hike at -40 degrees Celsius in Greenland who came to the Faroe Islands just to recover. Sadly, that guy became my partner, and he had shown me on so many occasions what my body is literally not able to endure that I had to readjust my whole self-image. I eat more chocolate now. Story 22. I thought I was hot stuff in middle school, typing 60 words per minute until I got to high school. I swear some of those kids would reach upwards of 150 words per minute. It made me feel really small time. Story 23. I am a better whistler than maybe 98% of the population, but compared to a world-class whistler, I sound like a corpse fart. Edit. Holy crud. I need to come back to this when I am not drunk. Story 24. When I was in 5th grade, I didn't really have any friends, was bullied, and was picked last for sports. At recess and at home, I started running because I wanted to be good at it. It went on for a few months, and I had convinced my little 10-year-old mind that I was a superb runner and super fast. One day in physical education, they had us race each other. I was put up against these two popular girls who were best friends, and I just knew that this was my moment and all my work was going to pay off and people would like me. They defeated me soundly. Story 25. I did not particularly think I was really good at it, but I thought I was decent at drawing quirky little cartoon versions of people, and I had fun doing it. That is until I got threatened to be banned from Reddit Gets Drawn. That was a real punch to the gut. Story 26. Playing piano. There's so much competition, and there's always an Asian kid much better than you. I practice every day and have been playing for 10 years, and ugh. Story 27. When I was in kindergarten, I used to think I was the second fastest person in the world, my older brother being the fastest. That was until I got in a race with somebody in my class, and not only did he destroy me, his clothes were flapping in the wind. That visual really stuck with me and convinced me I wasn't. Story 28. Smash Brothers. It seems like a casual Nintendo game at first, but it has a really high skill ceiling. You can be the best in your school and always manage to forestock everyone, but if you play against someone who has played it on a competitive level, you notice how little you actually know about the game, even after playing it for 5,000 hours. Story 29. I thought I was really good at cup stacking. I could put up and take down a tower in 30 seconds. Well, then I decided to look at videos of other people cup stacking. What people do with cup stacking is incredible. Anyway, I no longer consider myself good at cup stacking. Story 30. Excel. I could create some charts and pivots that looked good, or so I thought until I saw everything the Rain Man of Excel and Visual Basic could do in our office. Story 31. I love drawing and am the art kid in my school. I found out one of my classmates likes drawing too, so I checked out her drawings. They were so good. I was jealous. Later, she found my art Instagram, and her reaction was, "Why are you even posting? You know I'm better than you." It almost crushed me, but I ignored her. Now, I've been drawing for 3 years and making quite a lot of progress. Story 32. Singing and music composition and production. Every time I feel I finally get to another level, I'm humbled by the truly gifted artists out there. Hard work will pay off though. Story 33. I've been playing guitar for over 30 years now, so I'm pretty good. Okay, fine, I'm really good. Now stop making me brag. Anyway, about 10 years ago, I was still really good at that point. I went over to a couple's place for a barbecue at the beach. I walked into the main room, and a 12-year-old kid was relaxing with his dad, holding a guitar in his lap and talking to someone. It was a really nice Martin, so I commented on it. The dad said, "Hey, Junior, let this man play a bit. Try to learn something." Now, honestly, I'm not a show-off. I really don't even know people that well, but I figured I've been playing a while and this kid's father is being really cool about helping his son learn an instrument. I admire that all kids should learn to play music. So I accepted the offer, played a couple of short tunes, some decent riffs, and a couple of my flashy scales at full speed, but nothing too big. I didn't want to make the kid feel hopeless. I mean, he's just a kid learning to play, right? Wrong. I handed it over to him, and he began to shred this thing like I was some kind of amateur who started playing 45 minutes ago. Don't get me wrong, the kid was not showboating at all. For those of you who play, you'll understand. When someone can play, you can tell, and when someone can shred, you can definitely tell. Kid shreds. After 10 minutes, I picked my ego up off the floor and crawled away wondering where I went wrong in my life. Thanks, kid.